Nurses taught me how to put in Foley catheters. Yep. Nurses also taught me how to put in IVs. And they also taught me how to do EKGs as well. That's right. When you do an EKG, you got to put the leads in the right place, stick them on the patient's chest and do all that good stuff. Well, it was a nurse that taught me how to do that. Nurses taught me how to do so many things when I was a young medical student, just starting out, trying to figure out how to be a med student and then how to be a doctor, and so on. I'm a family doctor, but nurses are so important. And this video honestly is my love letter to nurses around the world. Honestly, nurses are literally one of the most important pillars of the healthcare field. I know as a physician, and so many of us, all of us physicians, what am I saying? We couldn't do our jobs without nurses. We work together. Nurses are on the front lines. Nurses are there day after day, doing the hard work, taking care of patients, being an emotional support, helping out med students and residents, which is, by the way, where when I learned how to put in a Foley and put in an IV and do an EKG and so many other things. Nurses are also, when we're going through school as doctors in training, nurses are usually the ones who know more than us for a while, especially when it comes to practical things. When I was a young resident, I don't know how many times I, got a lot of important information about the patient, not only from the nurse, but also guidance as well. Nurses are the first people to sometimes call out warning signs with hospitalized patients. They call us saying, "Hey, doc, I think there's something wrong here." Nurses are so much. And, again, this is my love letter to you all and to all nurses out there. By the way, if you are a nurse, if you know a nurse, if you love a nurse, go ahead and write that in the comments. Let's give praise to all the nurses out there that are doing an amazing job. And yes, we have nurses weeks, we have nurses days, and rightfully so, we should. But, one of the reasons it's important to me is because some of my closest relationships with people, as a young doctor growing up, as a medical student, as a resident, even as an attending, have been with nurses. I remember when I was an intern. Yeah, I was an intern at this time, and it was the first time I pronounced a patient's death. I'd never done that before as a doctor, right? And it was just me and the nurse and the patient's family. Of course, this was pre-COVID, so family members were in the hospital room. And it was my first pronouncement. It was emotional for me, as honestly every death is still, honestly, but who was there right with me? It was the nurse taking care of the patient. And I'll never forget that emotional support that she provided to me, but not only to me, but to the patient's family, and how integral she was with our patient and his care. So this is the thing. Nurses work tirelessly. They help not only patients, but they help us doctors and doctors in training. I know my medical students, I'm the clerkship director for a course for third-year medical students. I know nurses are often the ones telling my med students exactly where to go. Hey, turn around. No, it's that direction you want to go. Nurses are, again, a main pillar of the medical community. And nurses don't often get the praise and the credit that they deserve. So this is my small way of saying thank you, nurses. Thank you for not only what you do for patients, right? Because we know how valuable you are to patients, how much you give, how trusted you are, but also to me personally. Nurses are often the people growing up in medicine that I felt comfortable pulling aside and saying, "Hey, where do I screw this in? Where do I plug this in?" when I was a young doctor or a young medical student trying to figure stuff out. And nurses have often been a saving grace for doctors and for patients. So we salute you. I salute you. And once again, write in the comments if you are a nurse, because we want to know. If you're studying to be a nurse, because hello, whoop, whoop, holla, we need that. If you know a nurse, if you love a nurse, any of that good stuff, write that in the comments. And again, for all the nurses' days, nurses' weeks, etc., it is certainly not enough to say thank you to all the nurses that play such an important role in our healthcare profession. So, nurses, love you. Mwah. From me to you, from us to you. I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I invite you to do so and click the little bell for updates. I do daily videos on all sorts of stuff, nurses included. Make sure you stay tuned for new videos. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen. I'll see you soon.